guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. It's time to start, and it's Monday morning, Monday afternoon, or Monday evening, wherever you are. It could be Tuesday, who knows. And we need to start talking about all the things that have happened on the interwebs, on Facebook, on Instagram, on the YouTubes, on anywhere online you think you could go and look for information about stuff and people, right? Today we're going to start with Myka and James Stauffer. James and Myka Stauffer, they became international stars, not for the right reason, in the end of May when they made a video titled An Update on Our Family, and they decided to tell their fans and friends that their 4-year-old son, Huxley, who they adopted from China, had been placed in another family, which ultimately led to a lot of people on YouTube and the interwebs and in basically everywhere starting to have this discussion about whether or not we should be using children and adoption as a means for monetization and for content on the internet. Now, James and Myka Stauffer had been pretty honest and vocal about how the adoption process had really led to their success on YouTube, and it was their first time going to get him and going to meet Huxley in China that led to them moving forward and really focusing on their family channel and on Huxley. After years now with the family, Huxley no longer is there. Obviously, the family upset a lot of their viewers who had grown attached to the story and were upset with the decision by the Stauffers to place him with another family. The Stauffer family removed their Stauffer Life channel. Myka Stauffer deleted almost all of her videos related to Huxley from her personal channel, Myka Stauffer. James Stauffer's Stauffer Garage appears to remain untouched because his channel has always primarily focused on car detailing. Now, over the weekend, James actually uploaded his second video since he had been gone. Now, Myka has not uploaded anything onto her YouTube channel since her last announcement, but James took to his channel to do a car detail of their Range Rover Sport. Now, the family did purchase 2 Range Rovers, a very expensive home, and a Mercedes, all while they had Huxley as their primary content. Now, people were, less than thrilled. Myka hasn't been back other than to make that statement on Instagram where she basically claimed that, this was the worst thing that ever happened and she was deeply sad about upsetting everyone. James has I don't really know that he's even apologized, to be honest. Somehow James has kind of skated past. The media has put so much of the attention and all of the scrutiny on Myka, and James has sort of been able to remain unscathed within all of this. And so when he uploaded his latest video, the detailing or the car detailing of his Range Rover Sport, he got into the comments and actually started interacting with people. Now, the video, I should mention, does not have a ton of views. His channel does have a lot of videos with a lot of views. One of his more popular videos has 21 million views. The video that he just posted has 77,000 views as of this morning. That is not very large viewership for the size platform that he has. He has 940-some thousand subscribers. So James as a whole's videos might be doing not as well. But that did not stop him from getting into the comments and interacting with people. And for the most part, well, the comments were positive, meaning he likely is filtering out the negative comments, which, by the way, is not a humongous issue here because generally speaking, every content creator has the ability to make the decision of whether or not they're going to allow specific content and comments on their channel, whether or not, if the comments are not pertaining to what the video is about, or if the comments are just not kind. And so if he is getting rid of those comments, I guess you can't really blame him. And at this point, people have pretty much said almost everything that they could to this family. So when he was jumping into comments, I was surprised because he hasn't really said much at all. And one of the first comments I noticed was that someone had talked to him about this. So somebody posted, "I don't know why these videos are so satisfying to watch. I'm learning a lot through your detailing of my own car, so that's awesome, well done." And his comment said, "Happy to hear that. What I wanted people to get out of my content, satisfaction and learning how to care for their own cars too." So he's happy because this fan is learning how to detail cars and take care of their cars, and he is happy that people are learning how to take care of their cars. Obviously, critics would say that, if you want to learn how to take care of your cars, you should probably learn how to take care of your children, but I digress. as I moved over into other comments, I noticed that one person said, "I'm always waiting for new videos, finally." And James made this statement, "More to come, every week a new video." So at this point, James has made the decision that he is going to be uploading every single week onto his channel, and he is going to just keep plugging away. And it seems as though he's going to just ignore the noise and try to keep and move forward with his channel. Another thing that I noticed was that some people went on there specifically to just give him some support and some encouragement. And one person said, "Glad you're back. Don't listen to the crappy people. You're awesome. You inspired me to be a detailer on the side. You guys rock." And he said, "You have no idea how much that means to me. Thank you. And I'm glad my videos can help." And then that person said, "Let your wife know as well. My wife loves her videos and has inspired her in a lot of ways. For as much negative stuff that's out there, way more people are still behind you. Keep on rocking." And James responded, "I will. That is something we needed to hear. Thank you." I should note that in general, when there is a scandal on YouTube, people don't lose a lot of their subscribers. One of the biggest questions has been like, why isn't James losing as many subscribers? Why isn't Myka losing as many subscribers? Well, at the end of the day, the people that are the most upset are going to be the loudest, and then the supporters will sometimes retreat into the background and not say anything for fear of being sort of retaliated against, or have people come at them and say, like, how can you support them? Because sometimes when you quietly support someone, or you don't quietly support them, you can be in effect, the hate train can sort of go on to you. Now, not saying that what they did was correct, just sort of telling you that sometimes there's a lot more people that do support them that don't. And that's kind of wild to me given what happened. But, you know, they aren't losing as many subscribers as you could say. Now, some of them might just be staying on, waiting for Myka's next video to see how she's going to respond, and then they'll leave. But I don't expect Myka to actually lose a lot of her platform, because ultimately, YouTube is a funny place where you can make really, really, really big decisions and really, really, really bad choices and still bounce back. You're the only person as a creator that gets to decide whether or not you are canceled. And ultimately, if people tune in over time, people are going to forget about this. And that's sort of how the internet works. One scandal happens and you move on to the next. One drama happens, you move on to the next. That doesn't mean that they're not problematic, but it also doesn't mean that they're done. And that's sort of the reality of when you are on the world of social media. I also noticed that there was a lot of comments like, "Hope you, Myka, and the kids are well. Keep up the good work." And he said, "Yes, we are. Thank you so much for the support." So one of the first responses that we hear that they're actually doing well. Yes, they are doing well, and they appreciate the support. I would imagine that right now is a very difficult place for them, regardless of what you feel or how you feel about them. The amount of people coming after them over the last few months has probably been very overwhelming. And while we can all be critical and not agree with what they've done, what they've said, or how they've handled things, ultimately the amount of people saying negative things can definitely impact people. And some people, their critics, will say that this is, you know, karma and this is what they deserve. And then other people that support them will just be like, okay, it's enough. We need to move on. This is done. What has happened has happened. They're not going to be charged. Huxley's safe. That's what sort of came out of the investigation by the Delaware Sheriff's Office. I also went on and I saw another comment with more words of encouragement, with someone saying, "This is very satisfying, but what I really need is one of Myka's clean with me videos. I need motivation. Cleaning on my own sucks. Hopefully she will be back soon." And he actually answered this: "Thanks for the words of encouragement. I'll let her know." Now, this is interesting because James has come back, but there hasn't been discussion about whether or not Myka will come back. Now, people have been very critical, assuming that Myka won't come back. And if she does come back, she's going to be hit with a lot of criticism, and people are going to have a hard time welcoming her back. I made those same statements. Like, to me, I said, I will never support you. But you know what, you guys? I never supported her to begin with because I never watched her. But I wouldn't be the one to go to her channel and make nasty comments and tell her that she's a terrible, horrible person. I mean, that definitely could happen if she decides to upload again. But, you know, it'll be up to the community to decide whether or not they're going to welcome her back. When I asked you guys on YouTube what your thoughts were about the possibility of Myka coming back, you guys had some mixed responses. So when I asked you guys what you thought, this one person said they should stay off YouTube. They have no shame. Another one said, honestly, if she just left the kids out of the videos, I really wouldn't care. Another person said, I feel a little bit torn. I don't know how much about James because I refuse to watch their videos, but I feel like he might be a victim of a fill in the blank. But like I said, I don't know much about him and he might just be as slimy. I definitely want the family to stop showing their kids and talking about their kids. I don't think they should be allowed to make another dime off of them. But I wonder what it will do to their kids if they lose James's channel and that income. Do they have a backup plan and support? I hope so. And some people were like, this is way too soon. She shouldn't come back. She should not return. This is gross. And so obviously, you know, you've got some people that are like, well, they do need to make money. Now, one person did point out, you know, James was an engineer. He could obviously go back to working as an engineer, making a lot of money in engineering. He had a good income. He was theoretically doing very well in his career and decided to leave engineering in order to pursue a full-time job on YouTube. So could he go on and make an honest living? Maybe, although employers with his online presence might be apprehensive to take him on. That's sort of the problem once you have a very public platform of whether or not a company would want to work with you and if you would be considered employable or if you would be too much of a distraction for that company. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. I don't know how I would feel about Myka coming back. I do think it's too soon. I think if she were going to come back, she still needs to let things die down. People still are very upset about what's going on. People are still not satisfied, even though Delaware County Sheriff's Office says, you know, Huxley is with this new family. Everything's fine. He's doing really well. People are still really sort of traumatized about the fact that they utilized this entire experience. They profited off of it. They had fundraisers. They bought expensive, you know, items for their home. They got a humongous house out of the deal, and then they got rid of him. And then in the reports by the Delaware County Sheriff's Office, there's all kinds of stuff about them being too expensive, like Huxley was too expensive for them. And there was also behaviors, they say. So what do you think? Do you think it's appropriate for them to even talk about having a comeback for Myka? Do you think Myka could even come back? Like, what would your thoughts be? If you were a viewer of Myka's and you are no longer, would you support her coming back? What are your thoughts about, well, how are they going to support their family? Do they use YouTube and social media? Or is their reputation and their image too far stained at this point for them to move forward? Mind you, I must say there has been no criminal case that has happened. They will not be charged. So from a legal standpoint, it doesn't appear as though they've done anything technically wrong. Ethically, morally is another thing, but the public opinion here is going to dictate more than the legal system what happens to this family. So can they come back with a scandal this large? Or is it done? Are they toast? Is it over? Is this a couple that is canceled, or will they just be so not even aware and sort of like, well, we still have to make a living? I would love to hear what your thoughts are. I'm going to try to stay objective here because I can see both sides. I can see the outrage and I can feel the outrage 100%, but I can also see like, well, we still have channels, we still have platforms, and we still have people that do want to watch. So do you sort of tune out the people that are angry and give the people that are still supporting you the content that they want? It'll be harder for them to build the platform, but James's platform still has almost 1 million people following, meaning that if he starts pumping out regular content, he could theoretically get the views that he once did as more and more people forget. So what are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments below. Again, I am not endorsing or condoning or even supporting or condemning anything at this point. I'm Switzerland, and I want to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.